did you go business or personal?
I'm sorry?
Did you go with a business bank statement loan or a personal bank statement loan? Personal.
Do you guys do approvals of TVs?
We do. We do pre-qualify on a TBD. Well, that's what's so important. TBD, if you're not getting literally the loan vetted out for TBD, how about somebody going out and making an offer and now trying to figure out if they're going to qualify based on bank statement income? That would be very difficult, and what a time waste. No, TBD bank statements, that's the lane. Absolutely. Come on in, folks. This is all about making money. So if you don't want to know about making money, you ought to honestly go get a cocktail and sit by the pool. Fair enough, that's right.
I'll get cocktails.
Now, I like the way that this young man thinks. He just asked, why not get a cocktail and sit in here? So if we can find a hotel worker, maybe get a round of cocktails on Angel Oak. I don't mind. So we were going to get started at around 2 o'clock or 2:30, and I've got 2:30 on the nose. So why don't I just go ahead and get things started, you guys? My name is Eric Morgenson. I'm with Business Development with Angel Oak, and I'm going to talk about. I'm literally going to talk about 4 things, and I'm going to talk about 3 different loan programs. But again, I emphasize I'm going to talk to you about how to make money in this space. Okay. First, I'm going to talk about a little bit about Angel Oak. And I'm going to go into really what is alternative lending, or I like to call it non-agency. Some people call it non-QM. Then we're going to go into how can you close more of these loans and avoid the bad ones. We're going to go into where to find these borrowers, and then some Q&A. Fair enough? All right. So Angel Oak. Angel Oak, you guys, we're vertically integrated. And I'm just going to open up all these slides right now. We're vertically integrated, and what does that even mean? What it means is that Angel Oak underwrites 100% of these loans either on a correspondent or on a wholesale level. We make our own decisions. Then our parent company, Angel Oak Capital, buys 100% of our loans. So I'm not having to go over my shoulder on, before I fund this loan, what investor is going to buy it and how much are they going to buy it for, and then, oh, you'll buy it, but you want all these other underwrites, and now there's a second underwrite. We don't do that. We make all of our own decisions on any exception. Then, once Angel Oak funds the loan, we're going to send it off to a third-party auditor, and they're going to tear it apart to try to find a reason to not put it into the security. See, we're telling the investment community out there that we're underwriting to a certain standard, and this third party makes sure that we're held to that. Then if it passes that audit, what happens is the loan just sits on a long-term gestation line or a long-term warehouse line until we've aggregated or collected, funded about $500 million now, $500 million worth of these loans. Then when we're at that level, we don't call one, we call 2 rating agencies and say, hey, come on down here and rate this paper for us. And they do. They come in and tear these loans apart to find out, yep, they're sticking to their story. Then these go into a mortgage-backed security to where our own broker-dealer. See, we're not going to Wells or to Bear Stearns or Merrill Lynch or the Lehman Brothers back then. We do our own mortgage-backed security. So we're vertically integrated. We don't go outside of our company other than the auditors for this. So we've eliminated a huge middleman. What happens with that? We're able to drive a much lower interest rate to you guys and your borrower, and you guys are the beneficiaries thereof, and we're driving a higher coupon or a higher interest rate to the end investor. So that's what's important about vertically integrated. You guys, we only do these type of loans here at Angel Oak Mortgage Solutions, guys. This is our only lane. We don't do VA, we don't do FHA, we're not Freddie or Fannie, we're not a Jenny seller, we don't even do reverse mortgages. This is all we do. We haven't gotten good at it, folks. We've gotten great at it. So, with that said, you guys, 100% of these loans are all manually underwritten. And how do we underwrite these? We put on some common sense goggles, we look down at the loan, and we underwrite it based on the merit on the entire loan. We're not going to go, nope, I'm not doing this loan because of that one aspect. We look at other aspects of it, and here's a compensating factor that will make that loan be an exception. So if you got a loan that makes sense to you guys, chances are it's going to make sense to us. All right. you guys, we have local representation. I don't know who is furthest traveled here. Anybody from the East Coast here today? Okay. So chances are we have a local account executive in your area to honestly sherpa you through, walk you through this entire loan process if it's your first loan. All right. You guys, we are growing hand over fist, as is this segment of the market. So we're proud to be the only lender that was listed in the Scotsman's Top, and we're the only exclusively non-QM lender to make that list, you guys. We have originated, look at this, $2.2 billion in these loans, and the only kind of loans we do are alternative income bank statement, true subprime cash out, and if it's an investment property, absolutely no doc loans. That's all we do. And we rang the New York Stock Exchange closing bell because one of these pools, you guys, is a public REIT. So we're pretty proud of that. Anyways, all right, what is alternative lending? It's not what it was back in the day. See, back in the day, you could have had train wreck for credit. You could have had no money down, no skin in the game. You could have stated your income being a W-2 employee, and there wasn't really a lot of regulation. And that was a disaster. But what we've got today is, guys, our average credit score exceeds a 680. The borrower has skin in the game. That says 5%, but on bank statements will go 90%. That's enough skin in the game that somebody doesn't want to walk from that property, you guys. Proof of income, because all we really do, if it's owner-occupied, we have to document the borrower has the ability to repay the loan. How novel. And then we do have oversight. We have that ATR regulation. The ability to repay, because guess what? As the lender, if we're wrong, every borrower we've ever closed a loan on has a 3-year statute of limitation to bring a lawsuit against their lender for their inability to repay their mortgage. And if a judge looks at the paperwork and looks around, you guys did it egregiously, you did it intentionally, it's automatic lien forgiveness. State of Colorado, Minnesota, and Oklahoma, even if we made a simple mistake on calculating the borrower's income and a judge deems that we made a simple mistake, it's still automatic lien forgiveness. So there's a lot at stake, especially if we were doing a $2 million bank statement loan and oops. All right, moving along. So look at back in the day of wackadoodle-doo, and then look at the securitization right here, you guys. Do you see a little bit of opportunity here? The growth market. Now look at that. Look at this. We've got a long way to go here, folks. Okay. 2013, Angel Oak funded its first non-QM, but it wasn't called non-QM back then. It was just a regular loan. Then here's the date. Everything changed. January 10th, 2014. That's when the CFPB delineated what is a non-qualified and what is a qualified mortgage. Okay? This is an interesting date. That's the date that all hard money lenders completely exited the business because they really don't have a mechanism to document the ability to repay an owner-occupied space. So all hard money, it's not hard money, it's private money now. All private money now went into the non-owner occupied or investment property space. So that left a huge opportunity for us. All right, you guys, in 2014, there were 3 lenders in this space, Angel Oak being one. We did our first security in 2015. Now, here from 2015 to 2019, right now, here we're in August, we've seen a lot of weird rate fluctuations. I mean, there's a refi boom, there's not. There's one, the rates come down. So a lot of people are going, geez, everything's kind of drying up. What's this non-QM stuff all about? You know, let's get good at that. Wait a minute, the rate just went down. I got all these refis. So everybody's kind of rushing over here, wait, refis over here. So it's kind of been a quirky market. So we haven't seen just a real steady uptick in this because you guys grab that low-hanging fruit. But once this temporary refinance boom is over, maybe it's not going to be over for a long time. Maybe it might be over next month. I don't know. These loan programs are waiting for you. All right. So now we did correspondent 2016. Now, today in August, there's over 80 lenders, wholesalers in this space. Think about that. All right. Securitization. Do you see what's going on here? Oh, this should be saying probably 2000 here, 2007, 2008, and you can see the opportunity there. All right, so the market's growing. What do these loans perform? Now look at this stats. You guys, we're outperforming reverse mortgages. How do you default on a reverse mortgage? You don't pay your taxes. We're outperforming reverse mortgages. Way outperforming FHA, even VA. But here, in my opinion, this program, these products haven't really been stress tested. Why? Because we've been in an an appreciating market environment. Once things possibly go the other way, that's when all programs really are stress tested. But we're very bullish on how we underwrite these files, because the number one reason a loan goes into default is what? Income. All right, so here's some interesting stats. And here's my fave right here. Right here. Folks, focus on this. Everybody in this room here is paid on basis points. Now, that's key to know, because these are where the bank statement loans lie. Now, think about W-2 wage earners and self-employed people. W-2 wage earners over here literally are paid by a company. But you don't see a lot of W-2 wage earners, you guys, buying a $2, $3, $4, $5 million house, now do you? 100% they're self-employed folks. Now, anybody care to guess how many page tax code we have in America right now? It got simplified, so it got kind of shorter. How many pages tax code do we have in America?
Way too many.
Way too many. That's a great answer. It's 70,000 pages. It's very sophisticated. That's why there's a $1 billion industry known as tax attorneys and accountants out there to kind of figure it out. Now, our tax code is designed to perpetuate the government, obviously, but it's also designed for job creation. So who's creating the jobs? The self-employed people. W-2 wage earners are not creating jobs. It's self-employed folks. And as they create jobs, the jobs that they create, those employees pay taxes, pay Social Security, Medicare. The employer pays payroll tax on that. So it's a big tax generator. So the self-employed guy gets a lot of tax press. Now, with that said, we see people that are just millionaires, but on their taxes, they're only showing about $36,000 a year in income. But they want to buy a $2.5 million house. How is that going to work? Do you see? There's 17 million of them, and it's growing. Look at by the year 2020, because of what is known as the gig economy, meaning people are figuring out a way to not be W-2, but I can work off my laptop, get this eBay business going on, partner with Amazon, and now I've got this self-employed home business, and they're making more than they did in their W-2. And that is growing at a dramatic rate. What do you think they're going to do when it comes to tax time? Are they going to document as much income as they can and pay as much taxes as they can to the federal government? No, you guys. So this segment is growing. I'm here to get you guys great at these alt income loans, because once again, they're big loan amounts. Over here, we have subprime borrowers. You got 33% of the American population has a FICO score below a 620. Screaming opportunity, because guess who is completely ignored out there? That wasn't back in the day where you could do 125% debt consolidation. You guys, we'll do a true subprime loan and pay off somebody's debts. Now, that's a high coupon, and I'm going to get into it later. The foreclosure run is pretty much so over right there, so there's not a lot of opportunity. But that bank statement, you guys, there's 21 million eligible for VA loans, and that's an incredibly huge market. Look at this. All right. So here's the reason why you guys are saying no to borrowers. Now, if anybody in this room has ever applied for anything, I don't care if it's for anything, if you ever applied for it and then got denied, you kind of go, I didn't feel good. I didn't feel very good. And they just said no to me. Well, then the last thing we want to do, our human nature, is go apply again, and it gets back down. So it's kind of painful. So when these borrowers, when you guys say no, when Wells Fargo says no, when Quicken says no, when you got B of A saying no, the borrower believes that they don't qualify for that loan. But those folks don't do these loans, do they? It's us agile brokers. It's us brokers in this room, you guys that are spending a Saturday in August in Vegas, 115 degrees out there, getting better and learning how to make more money because you're more agile than Wells Fargo, B of A, Chase will ever be. They don't do these. So once they say no, this is the reasons. So let's say the income was too unstable. Guess what? We're going to probably say no to that borrower as well. Not enough money in reserves. We want to see the whole picture. Insufficient down payment. You guys, we will allow 100% gift funds on these programs. So debt to income ratio, probably a self-employed borrower, that's a major reason that you say no. So all we're interested here in Angel Oak is the borrowers that you traditionally can't do a payment. That's all we're interested in. Okay. Why originate 9QM loans? It's kind of obvious. So I'm going to unpack these real quick. We're going to go into this. Okay. Strengthen you guys, everybody here is a rainmaker, meaning you guys go out there and find the borrower, fill up, fully bake a 1003, quarterback that loan all the way to funding. So underwriters would not have a job if it wasn't for you guys. Regional managers of your companies wouldn't have a job. Even regulators wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for you rainmakers starting this whole thing by finding these borrowers. Now, I'm talking to a lot of you guys out there on the floor, and I ask, hey, what are you doing with your bank loan? What are you doing with all these loans that you can't do? Well, we don't, all of our borrowers pretty much are qualified. There's not a lot of borrowers that we can't do, is what I hear all the time. And here's my theory on this. You know why you get loans with borrowers that you can do and you don't see the ones that you can't? Because your referral partners have no idea that you guys have access to these type of loans. So your referral partners might be taking these loans to another loan officer who's also trying to get your A paper business that your referral partner is giving you. So it is that opportunity right there is strengthening the relationship. Be the super loan officer that when a referral partner gives you a loan, you can pretty much so do any loan that is available in America. That to me is the Mac Daddy reason. Obviously, I don't chase the money. I just chase satisfying an underserved market. The money will always follow. Okay, so you've got this huge underserved market. And with these loans, guys, as I was talking to these folks, they've done a bank statement loan. You're not shopped to death. Let somebody trigger lead you all day long on a non-QM loan because they're not going to be able to figure it out. You guys, there's a huge underserved, and the borrowers are gushing because everybody else has told them no. This is a great borrower. All right, stand out, differentiate yourself. Well, if you can do these loans where that realtor didn't know, all right. So this stat was taken January 18th, 2019. It didn't foresee this temporary refinance boom. So I guarantee you that line would be a little bit upticked right here, but this is stable, you guys. We are in a lasting purchase economy. All right, so here's the underserved market. Again, my favorite, because you folks are paid on basis points, is that bank statement loan borrower. We'll do a loan for somebody one day out of bankruptcy. That might sound crazy, but I'm going to explain why we would do that. Foreign national loans. Anybody here ever done a foreign national loan? Have you done two? I'll get back to you on that. Not a big market. Low credit scores, asset qualification, you guys. We have a booth over here if you want to go offline and know about this asset qualifier or asset depletion. We're happy to explain that to you. All right, here's our non-prime product. Credit scores start at 500. Now, who in this room would take a first mortgage loan at, let's say, 9% interest rate right now? Anybody here would do a first mortgage loan at a 9% interest rate? Probably not, no. And you're out there selling 3 1/4 right now, and then try to call out to a bar, hey, I got your approval. Yeah, your rate is 9%. Yep, your payment's gonna be, no, that'd be hard. But here's a situation on where somebody would take a 9% interest loan. Here's a borrower, actual borrower. Minimum monthly payments on his mortgage, his subprime car loan, his $15,000 loan to cash call, unsecured debt, and $42,000 in credit card debt. monthly payment is just a little bit north of $7,000. Now his first mortgage is 5.25. He's never refinanced because he's had some mortgage late. Credit is not a real big deal to this type of borrower. As a matter of fact, you guys, why do people have low credit scores? Health issues, addiction issues, folks, divorce, lots of reasons. Life happens to people. But by doing an Angel Oak debt consolidation, subprime debt consolidation loan, literally we drop his minimum monthly payment from a little bit over $7,000 to $5,000. And he's at a 9% first mortgage now. Now we're saving him $2,000 a month in cash flow. Who knows how much savings that is in 1 year? It's $24,000, guys. Now, here's a bar that's kind of motivated, going, wait a minute. So with that said, what happens after you've paid off all of their debt, taken out their subprime car loan at 38% interest rate, and made it all tax deductible because that loan isn't exceeding $750,000? Huge benefit to the borrower. Okay? Then, a year or two later, once his credit recovers and he keeps his mortgage payments on time, you get a second bite of the apple. Put him into an agency loan. You're getting 2 for 1. Huge benefit to the broker, huge benefit to the investor that buys into this mortgage-backed security because they're getting a 9% coupon for a year or two. Then the risk of that 9% coupon goes away. Do you see now why somebody would take a 9% interest rate? All right. Portfolio Select. This is another program of ours. How long will Wells Fargo, Chase, Quicken, how long will these people make me wait if I want a jumbo loan and I've had a bankruptcy? How long are they going to make me wait? Nope, not 4 years, folks. 7 years on a jumbo loan. 7 years. Now, the California entrepreneur, and the entrepreneur for that matter, is a risk taker. Boy, they take a lot of risks. They get slapped down, but they keep getting back up because they're gritty. Slapped down, but they get back up. Well, these bank statement loan self-employed borrowers, you're going to see that they've had a bankruptcy in their past. Why? They're risk takers. And that's okay, because in this heated economy, we have a perfect storm, you guys. People with impaired credit, but now, oh, Jed's a millionaire again. And over the past 4, 6, 8, 11 months, they've become a millionaire. And guess what they want to do? They don't want to rent. Help me finish this. Today, rental cost, if I'm renting a house, is at its all-time high, right? So now you got people that have, now they're millionaires, they don't believe they can buy a house. But boy, they're motivated. Then they find you guys, and you guys can offer these loans. Guys, it's a perfect storm right now. All right. Moving forward, if we were, let's say, if I were a store and I had products up on the shelf, this is the product that I'd sell out every day. This is Angel Oak's most popular program right here. These rates start in the 4s. Alt income bank statement, you guys, will go to $3 million at 85% LTV, $2.5 million to 90% LTV, never any MI, and on all Angel Oak programs, they're 30-year fixed. No MI, 30-year fixed, and whenever you go to submit a loan to Angel Oak and we register it, we lock it for 60 days. These are not rate-sensitive loans, folks. So this is the Mac Daddy right here. This can make you a boatload of money. Investor cash flow. Now, I'm from Orange County, California. And in Orange County, California, there are literally tens of thousands of rental properties. And who owns these rental properties? Doctors. A lot of people that are retired have 3 or 4 rental properties. Every now and then you come upon somebody that has 165 rental properties. And normally, it's going to be a shock. They don't document that rental income to the IRS. So now it's time to go full doc and they can't. So where do they go? They go to the private money. Sorry, private money. Oh, by the way, it's not a bankruptcy. It is a credit event. It's not a foreclosure. It's a housing event, right? So they go to their private money lender, who's going to charge them 2 points, and what kind of interest rate?
12.
9, 12. We see as low as 8.5 now, but still, they want their money. And what kind of loan terms? It's usually 1 or 2 year balloon because they want to reallocate those assets to get that other 2 points. Come again, full circle, 2 points, full circle, 2 points. Now, tens of thousands in every county of rental properties. That's normally what's going on. Here's the opportunity. Those properties, a lot of times, are in LLCs. This is all public data. Everybody in this room have a title rep relationship? You know your title reps? Call your title rep Monday morning and say, I want a list of the rental properties in an LLC in my area. Get it. Contact these people and say, are you paying over 8.5% on your rental property and refinance them into this? Hard money usually stops at 65, 70% LTV. We'll go to 80. No income on their 1003. You see, because these are non-owner occupied spots. We don't have to follow the ATR regularly. We don't have to document the ability to repay. Over here, owner occupied, boy, if we don't document the ability to repay, we're going to get dragged over the coals by the CFPB. But investment property, Congress doesn't give a doggone if they lose it through foreclosure. Do you see the opportunity here, guys? Do you? Now, how do we determine the borrower's got the ability to repay? Even though we don't have to, we want to for our investor. Here's what we do. We want to see what the appraiser states is fair market rents for that house. So if the house rents out, I buy a $1.2 million investment property in Newport Beach. That's what they cost. And let's say the payment to Angelo, including taxes and insurance, is $10,000 a month. As long as that property rents out for $7,500 a month, Angelo will fund that loan at an 80% LTV. We will allow negative cash flow on this program. Now, our friendly competitors out there want to see at least a 1-to-1. We'll go negative. You guys, you will make a fortune taking a borrower out of a balloon at a higher rate into a 30-year fix. Yes, sir?
Where does the rates range on these?
The rates range from 5 to 6, can be as high as 7, depending on the LTV and the credit of the borrower. All of these programs are risk-based, and I'm going to show you how to price one out. I love this opportunity right here, honestly. Okay, bank statement loans, you guys. We will take 100% of what the borrower deposits in their personal checking account over the last 12 months. We're going to back out if they've taken money from their savings and put it into their personal checking. Well, it's not income, folks, that's just a transfer, right? But we're going to do all this work for you. All we're going to ask you to do is just upload the 1003, upload the credit, give us the bank statements, because let us figure out what the income is on these bank statements, and you guys keep going out there and making it rain. We're going to determine the income for you, TBD properties as well. We're going to give you a full income so you can let your borrower go out there and let the shopping begin. Love this program. All right, so on our website, angeloakms.com, there's this pricing engine. It's called Quick Quote. All you do is you put in the credit score, you put in the loan amount, the LTV requested, the housing history. Now, you're going to see the housing history is going to be crazy because you're going to see they've had 90-day lates within the last 12 months. Who would do a loan like that? We would under the right situation. Property type, single family, 1, 2, 3, 4 unit, condo, transaction type, purchase, rate and term, cash out, or debt consolidation. See, cash out, if they're not getting more than 2% of the loan amount cash in hand and just paying off bills, we consider that a debt consolidation and lower the rate for them. There's less risk. Income documentation, there's full doc, there's 12-month bank, personal, 12-month business, and you're going to see our no doc and asset qualifier in there, and our 1-year tax return. Occupancy type, foreign national, yes or no, and it's going to give you your pricing. Then you'll see the pricing down here, and you go, I wonder what the pricing would be if the LTV was not 75, but 85%. Okay. Everybody here making it rain literally is referral business, correct? Everybody, right? Realtors, your bread and butter. Let them know that you have access to these programs. Now, we have all sorts of marketing that I'm going to unpack, but here's what really works. This works, guys. You ever walk into realtor offices? If you don't, you might want to consider this. Get a roll of Scotch tape. Walk into a realtor office with one of our flyers, or bank statement flyer, with your contact information. It's white labeled, so you just put in your information on it. And here's a bank statement flyer. Shows all the highlights. And go tape it to the refrigerator in their kitchen or in their break room. And that stays right there, because when they're in and out, getting stuff out of the refrigerator, you're top of mind. Bank statement loan. Oh, I have a buyer that's self-employed. I wonder, and watch, you will get calls on it. Now, if you're really greedy, you'll take that flyer and you'll tape it to the back of the stall doors in the bathroom of that realtor's office. Because now you have a captured audience. If it's not a stall, tape it to the back of the door. You will get calls. Now, if you get a call and it's kind of echoey, you know that marketing is working. Guys, trust me, you will get calls. And nobody's going to go, hey, what are you doing? You're putting a flyer. No, you're saying, I can find a lot more people to be able to buy that expensive real estate, so it benefits the realtors. So I had a broker, he said, Eric, it worked. He went back 2 years later, his flyer is still on the back of the stall doors and on the refrigerator. It works. All right. Anybody here worked at Wells Fargo or Money Center Bank Chase? I don't know. Nobody? Fair enough. A lot of times people came from, $60,000 a year Wells Fargo loan officer and went over here, independent broker, and man, starts making money. But guess what's going on right now when I'm talking to you folks? Right now, there is some loan officer at a Wells, Chase, B of A, turning down a borrower because they don't show the ability to repay the loan. That's self-employed. So if you have a relationship with them, their turndowns are awesome and they're consistent. Jamie Dimon with Chase says, anybody that's going to refer a loan out, we want them to refer it out to at least 2 or 3 lenders. Simply because, let's say Chris refers a loan to me and he's working at Chase, refers a loan to me, and I box it up, and the borrower loses $20,000 in earnest money, and now this borrower's going to go back to Chase and go, well, I'm going to sue Chase because they turned me on to Eric who botched it up. So that's their paranoia. Understandable. Okay. Accountants and financial planners. You guys, going into August and September, all CPAs have to have ongoing educational courses. Okay? To keep their CPA license, just like all of us with our NMLS training with David Luna, we have to do the same. Well, why not, just talking, why not go and sponsor, I don't know, a coffee or a break for $400, because they're renting out these big hotels like in, the Hotel Irvine in Irvine, California. They're getting like 400 CPAs in there to go 8 hours of their ongoing educational costs, and why not drop in and present to all these accountants for all your self-employed borrowers out there that couldn't have it both ways, with you writing everything off and still qualify for a mortgage. Now they can, and present in front of all those CPAs and get all those referrals. Just saying. Are we here to make money? All right, bankruptcy attorneys. We'll do a loan one day out of bankruptcy, Chapter 13, as long as they filed for bankruptcy over 24 months ago. Now, why would we do that? I'm sorry, your name is, sir? Eddie. So Eddie and I are walking down the street. And here we are walking down the street, and we're going to go to my friend Chris Pine, and we're both going to apply for a mortgage. Eddie's never filed for a bankruptcy, and I just filed for a bankruptcy, and I just got discharged yesterday. We both fill out loan applications. Who's the bigger credit risk? Who's the bigger risk on the loan?
You are. You don't know anything.
So I filed bankruptcy. So he's saying that I'm the bigger risk.
No, I don't think so.
So Eddie is. That's right, you guys. And have a lot of my other crowds, they get it backwards. Why? I can't file for bankruptcy for another 7 years. So I can't, stop making a mortgage payment, file for bankruptcy, and put my mortgage company at stay for 3 years and live literally rent-free. He can. I can't. Who's the bigger risk? So this is why we just look at common sense lending. Non-mortgageable condos. So what if a condominium complex is 100% rentals? I think that adds to the value. We know Fannie and Freddie stop at 35% rentals, and that's where they call it quits. We'll allow 100%. We'll allow 15% single owner concentration with exception to 20%. Everybody else stops at 10. All right, marketing material. You guys become an approved broker with us. We give you credentials into our portal, and all of these flyers, PowerPoint, realtor presentations, even white labeled videos that you can upload on your Facebook or LinkedIn page, that's all white label, meaning that they don't say Angel Oak anywhere on them. All you do is you upload your logo, you type in your information, and now it's like you're your own private marketing firm, access to all these, professionally done. Again, these marketing flyers work if you use them. All right. When you guys, there's over 80 of us out there, non-QM guys, non-agency guys, over 80. So I am advocating when you go out there and you start stirring the pot and going, you know what, that tall goofy guy from Angel Oak, I think he had a couple of good points. And I think I'm going to follow up on a couple of those marketing ideas, and I think I'm going to make a boatload of money because, why? Because you can. So with that, we're kind of we're really not in the mortgage industry. I'm not even in the non-QM industry. Angel Oak hires with people that are in the service industry. That's what we do. We're truly in the service business. And that's the fun part of it. And Angel Oak, boy, does it ever make some great hires, you guys. All service oriented. Because you have a relationship with those realtors out there that trust you with their livelihood. And if a loan's going sideways, and nothing worse than a lender not returning calls and keeping you in the dark, that's not going to happen. All right, all we do are non-agency. Now there's a lot of lenders out there that do have some non-QM products over there, but then they have the whole boat of other products. Well, an underwriter, underwriting a paper, here's my 2U and my boom, boom, a paper, here's my LP, a paper, here's a bank statement loan, oh my God, well this is, I don't like this at all. It's hard for that underwriter to switch over, you guys. Stick with a company that just underwrites only non-QM. Think about the years of experience in them, how easy it is to work with their partners. You guys, our AMCs are probably the AMCs that you guys would want to work with. We work with, if you have contract processors, we work with those as well. And we make a boatload of exceptions when they make sense. Eddie?
Do you also service the loans for that?
We do. And thank you for bringing that up. We service 100% of these loans, you guys. So whenever that borrower makes a payment, they're making it to us. So when those demands come in, we know that demand's coming in. And guess what happens when we get a demand on Eddie's customer? I call Eddie up and said, Eddie, I got a demand here, and it's not you because it's his customer. Because Angel Oak Mortgage Solutions, we don't do any of the stuff that you guys do. So he's got a demand. There's a reason why this borrower is now possibly qualifying for a paper. So I'm going to call up Eddie, and I'm going to go, Eddie, I'm going to sit on this demand for a week or two until you tie that borrower up and do a nice little bow. Now, if that borrower's brother-in-law became a loan officer and there's no way that he's going to wedge in, I need him to know. Now, if Eddie goes dark on me, I'm letting that demand go out. But these are your borrowers you're sending to us. We get a demand, we're sending your borrower back to you. Because we want a partnership with you guys. And as Matt so eloquently said, when you fund one of these bank statement loans, it creates babies. Another loan comes. Because guess what one of our biggest demographics are on bank statement loans? Realtors, real estate agents, guys. Because guess what? They write everything off. They don't pay any taxes, you guys. Anytime they drive their car, they potentially driving to see a rental property or, a client. So they write off all their car, all their gas, they're writing off their office or writing off marketing expenses. Anytime they go to dinner or lunch or anything, they could potentially be taking out a customer. And guess what? They stumble upon all these wonderful real estate deals. So what a great demographic. And once you do a bank statement loan for one of your realtor partners, watch what happens. All right. Now, everybody out there can do a payroll loans. Everybody out there can do a VA loan. You guys, everybody out there can do an FHA loan. Everybody out there can do an A paper jumbo, perfect credit borrower, full doc. Everybody in this room can do one. I'm not sure everybody in this room does reverses, but then we'll just keep that up on the shelf. But not everybody out there, only about 16% of all loan officers in America have ever done one of these non-agency loans. Think about that for a second. There's over 54,000 loan officers in the state of California. And we're knocking on 15 to 16% of your competition out there have done one of these. So I just, yes, sir.
You mean in this day and age or going back?
Right now. Right now. Right now. Does that scream opportunity? We're here to make money?
Yes.
All right. I want to go into some questions, and what do you guys got for me?
Is there?
Yes, sir.
Bank statement, how do you look at the business bank statement?
Great question. His question was, how do we look at business bank statements? So what we're going to do, if the borrower's FICO score is below a 660, we're going to want to see 24 months of bank statements. If it's 660 or above, only 12. We're going to take the last 12 months of his bank statements, and you're going to give them to us. What we're going to do is we're going to put it into our bank statement review team. They're going to go through these bank statements, and they're going to collect all the deposits. Don't care about the withdrawals. Don't care about the balances. Just want to see all the deposits. Then we're going to take that deposit, we're going to cut it in half. Then we're going to take 50% of the, let's say it's $1 million. Now we got half of it, 500,000. We're going to divide that by what? It's a 12-month bank statement loan. By 12, that's the income. We're going to come back to you with, here's your income, here's your approval, let the shopping begin. Now, what we're looking for is if the borrower has chronic bounce checks, we'll allow 6 within the last 12 months. Over that, we're going to want to know what's going on. Now, if you can get that borrower to call the bank and go, hey, you know, I've got my business account with you guys, and you guys haven't set me up with a backstop in case I'm ever going to bounce a check. Why haven't you done that for me? You know, by the way, I think I'm going to take my business account elsewhere unless you actually refund me all of those NSF checks. Guess what they do 100% of the time, folks? They refund them. And if they're refunded, we kind of see that as, well, fair enough, he is watching his financial ducks, and we're not going to ding him for those NSF checks now. So that's how we look at those business bank statements.
Is there any consideration for these service businesses where their cost of goods isn't 50%, it might be 10%?
Great question. What about a service guy that's, let's say he's a consultant, and he offices out of his house, he's got no overhead, even his clients pay for all of his business travel, right? So this guy's got really 9% expenses. The max we're going to give a borrower is up to 35% expense ratio, meaning we will allow 65% of the business deposits if he can get his accountant or his bookkeeper to give us a statement saying, Eric Morgenson's company is running at around 10% expenses over the last 12 months. We're going to believe that, but the max they're going to give me is a 35% expense ratio. Bless you, by the way. Great question. Thank you for that. Personal bank statements, again, we don't care about withdrawals, just care about deposits. We're going to see, take all the deposits, divide by 12, that's the income. We're looking for bounce checks in there. Now, what if I've got California entrepreneur, I've got 7 companies out there, and I'm just wheeling and dealing. You know, I've got some car business over here, I'm doing some programming over here. Over here, I've got rental property coming in, and I got money coming in, and it's going all over the place. So as long as this, if I got a company, and it's its own LLC or its own C or S Corp, and it's got its own checking account, I'll use this company, and then I've got this other company, completely separate, with its own separate bank account, I'll use that as well in order to get income. Now, it's okay if I'm self-employed, my wife is W-2, because I'm using her W-2 income on the 1003, and we're using my personal bank statement income on it as well. Great question. Other questions? Yes, sir.
For qualification purpose, on the bank statements for personal, is it still the same criteria?
That is, you have to be self-employed.
What's
You
the
have to be
question?
self-employed. His question was, is it the same criteria on a personal bank statement loan? On all these bank statement loans, folks, we need the borrower to be self-employed for at least 2 years. Gotta have a 2-year runway. We see a lot of folks that have sold a company and they're under no non-compete, and they started this company over here and they've only got a 1-year history. Well, they're not gonna qualify. Did I answer your question?
No.
Oh.
I was just wondering, is it still 35% of the CPA letter?
No, we use 100% of what you deposit into a personal account. No CPA letter, no half, no calculation. It's 100% of business income into a personal account.
So it's either personal or business.
That's right. The fork in the road is going to be personal or business. You can't have a combination of the two. Now, here's the fork in the road, guys. When you're originating this loan, and my favorite part about being a loan originator is I grew up in a household, you guys are right, it was rude to ask somebody how much money they made. Oh, you don't ask somebody how much that car was. You can't ask somebody what the price of something was. My mother would just like, oh, that's the rudest thing ever. And then I stumbled upon this mortgage industry, and I was like, wait a minute, for a living, I can ask people how much money they make? That's compelling. That's one of my favorite things about it. So when you're originating these, you ask the borrower, hey, do you own your company 100% yourself, or do you have partners? See, if I own the company 100% myself, guess what I'm doing? I'm running buckshot, I'm running everything through my company because, well, I can, and I want to reduce my federal tax consequence. So what do? My cable bill, I'm not paying that out of my personal ticket. My company's paying my cable bill. My car expenses, all my travel, I'm cutting those checks right out of my company. Listen, I used to own a mortgage company, you guys. I had my kids intern for me. Guess what I did with their college apartment? Wrote that all through my company. Why? Because I could. So I'm reducing my federal tax consequence through my company, so I don't have that big of a need to pay myself all this much money because I'm cutting everything out of my business account. Now, let's say me and Eddie are partners in a business. He's going to get awful grumpy with me, seeing me cutting all my personal expenses out of our business account. So with partners determine how much they're going to pay each other or themselves at the end of the month. So if we're a partnership is where you go personal bank statements. If you own the company 100%, you go business. Yes, sir.
Do you lend to corporations?
LLCs.
What was the question?
These loans. Will we lend to corporations? Not C corps or S corps. These are full recourse loans, you guys. The borrower is going to sign the promissory note and will be obligated for it, but we'll vest it in an LLC. Not a corporation. A corporation doesn't have a FICO score. Yes, sir.
On personal bank statements, you've got a borrower who's joined on that statement with a spouse. How do you treat the spouse's income?
Love the question. Okay, so we got a married couple on a personal bank statement loan. And let's say the borrower, borrower one, primary, only wants to be on the loan, but his wife is on the personal bank statement loans. Guys, they both have to be on the loan because we're using both of their obligations. So it wouldn't pass the ATR test if we just did the loan for one person when there were two people on that personal bank statement loan. So anybody on a personal bank statement loan, you guys, has to be a part of this loan. And it's really hard when they have their kids on their personal checking account, you guys. And we don't fund in a trust.
Can they take them off temporarily and then add them back?
No, we can't because you're going with the last 12 months of statements. So they're on the last 12 months of statements.
Okay.
Yeah. Great ask.
One more question, Eric.
One more.
Yes, sir.
What if a borrower is an investor, but he has also a W-2 income?
Okay, so you got a borrower that is self-employed and W-2. Okay, so again, we're going to put on the common sense goggles and we're going to look at the loan and go, okay, he's self-employed and he's W-2. Where does he make most of his money?
Okay.
Let's say he makes most of his money W-2. Well, that self-employed job is a side hustle, so that's not going to work. But he makes most of his money being self-employed, but he's got this really cushy gig here where he's only literally putting in 4 hours a week, and this company is still paying him because maybe he might be, I don't know, kind of the front man of the company or whatnot. We're going to look at that.
So it's according to circumstances.
According to circumstances, you guys, there is a lot of gray to what we're doing here. Again, this is nothing like a DU or LP. We are wanting to look at the entire loan and go, what the heck is going on with these people, and does the loan make sense? Any other questions, you guys? Listen, Eric, my name's Eric Morgenson. We got a booth over there. My obsession in this business is marketing. It is finding these underserved borrowers, and it is easy right now. I think it's going to be easy for the next 3 years, and then, guys, this is going to be crazy, crazy competitive like a paper. But you've got a 3-year run to bank and make a ton of money. I'm available. I love talking marketing, and I know what works. Thank you for your time.